Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds. I'm Ted, hanging out with
Dave.
And today we're going to do a player tip on why are we adventuring together.
But before we talk about why we are adventuring together, guys, if you haven't signed up for the Nerdy newsletter yet, it's down in the description below. There's a link, click it, put your name, your email in, get bonus exclusives from Nerdarchy, learn how to game with Nerdarchy, and just get your nerdy news delivered right to your inbox. Back to our regularly scheduled content.
So we've talked before about, it's the player's job to figure out why your group is together.
Yeah, so there's this whole evolution that we've gone through as gamers, and we've really done this thing that actually burdened the players at the table unnecessarily, where it takes all game session to get the group together, and then we have evolved to we don't really need to do that anymore. We put everyone together right away, and even more so, the players can figure out why they're together.
Right.
But we've been kind of dicks about it. We're just like, it's your job, figure it out. So I feel like as Nerdarchy and to do a little player service, we should actually discuss what are some ways for the players to do this and help them out.
All right. So my first thing is my go-to, and that's the pre-game of before things are actually going on that the DM is linked to comes your backstory. So if you've got characters that already know each other, already associate with each other, and possibly have a linked cause, regardless of what it is. Oh, we worked in the town guard together, or we're both mercenaries. You've got camaraderie, you've got reason to care about what the other wants, and therefore, when one person has an issue, the other one's right there ready to help out.
Yeah, so that's a really good way to go. That it makes it a lot easier, and the more players that do it, even if not all the players do it, it's still getting you closer to where you want to be. It's like if you can break the party into 2 or 3 small groups, then you only have to bring those groups together. It's not the individuals per se.
The average adventuring party is 4 to 6 characters.
Yes.
So if you've got, say, a group of 3, a 2, and the loner, that's gonna be the DM's having the most variety of characters, the most different stories, and be able to get 3 ties in as opposed to, oh, we're all loners, you figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so you don't have to do that. And like you said, it could be that you guys were guards together, you work together in any kind of capacity, or you belong to the same mercenary guild. You guys all just happen to hang out at the same tavern. You guys could steal a page right out of Dragonlance, and you guys all grew up together. So there's tons of stuff like that we've done in our own games, shared backgrounds where you're related to other players at the table, which and characters, because actually we've done both, but. Well, Nerdarchy, me and Ted are related, and then me and Ryan are related, and then we have my son that plays now, so there's a lot of that going on out of game. But inside the game, we've done it where me and Mark have played Half Giant Brothers,
right?
And I think that was Ryan's Dark Sun campaign.
Correct. Yeah.
Me and Steve have played Dwarven Brothers. We were very obnoxious and mean to our DM in that game.
Well, that's one of the reasons that was only a single session.
Yeah. So, but you can do things like that, or even maybe there's some kind of resistance or an alliance, and all the players belong to that. Maybe they're not they don't know each other, or perhaps they all have shared acquaintances. These are all things that are very different ways of bringing the party together. Could, in your sessions, you're worked out with the DM, there could be an event that's coming up that all the players are going to be at.
Right. And you don't have to link it to just, as I called it, the pregame, that backstory, going more along the shared acquaintance, that could be, done in a variety of different ways. Perhaps you visited the same merchant that you've established a rapport with. Perhaps the innkeeper, tavern owner, has noticed that you have that adventurer mindset, and he's going to wind up being your first quest giver. Maybe it's, as you said, you're all at that tavern, and I know how many players out there can't stand the game starting in a tavern because it's such a trope. But
sometimes it's fun to do.
Sometimes it's fun to go back to that thing. But I mean, if you've got an NPC that everyone is linked to, that could be that first quest that gets the group. Even if it's like, okay, well, you've, as I said in that example, 3, 2, and 1, then it's only three people connection to that one NPC that can then move forward. So now you're linking 2 different ideas for getting the party together that you're feeding into the DM so that he doesn't have to, or she doesn't have to do the extra work of getting everyone together.
Right, and it just helps so much when you have that shared player GM buy-in, and you're all on the same page, and it really just eliminates that nightmare first session where you have like people that are just waiting to get into the game for hours. That's not fun for anybody. and we've had all that happen. Depending on the type of campaign it is too. Like you could put the characters could all start on a ship together. Like there's ways for the DM and the players that work together as this. Depending on what the stories are going to be. The DM just might be, hey, you're going to all start out as prisoners. Don't worry about it. Or you're all part of the same caravan, or you're all part of the same ship on a voyage or whatever. I believe the Mines of Fandover. I think. I mean, it's been a while since I looked at it, but I think that that does a thing like, hey, you're all going to this town. Or coming from this town, or something along those lines, and I don't really care how it happens, but that's how the game is starting, right? So from the DM's perspective, and then it kind of gives the players a little bit of agency to go, well, why are you going to the town? But they know, like they know in their mind, so it can be a shared thing as well, where the DM's going, well, this is where the game's going to start. And this is where I need all your characters, so you guys have some agency to come up with why you're there.
Right.
And so this way everybody's in the ballpark, and like the DM knows like there's this thing that's going to happen, and all the players will be there, and they'll all be able to take actions and play in the game right from the get-go. Mm-hmm. And that's just an example of sharing the responsibility.
Right.
So... I know we've gone like in a lot of these videos where we're just like, no, don't do it, just make them do it. But, there is some middle ground. And I feel like if you have a good solid session 0, you're going to be able to find that middle ground and work together as the players and the GM to come up with it. And, it is a lot easier on the GM if you can go, all right, well, do you guys all have a reason to know each other
right.
or work together?
So I got one last suggestion, and it's something that... kind of stems off of an idea that Nate and I have talked about, and I briefly touched on the whole mercenaries. Mm-hmm. But what if there's in your world there's mercenary companies that tend to hire adventurers or whatnot. And,
regulars.
The regulars, if you will.
No, irregulars.
Oh, irregulars.
Yeah.
So you wind up having this group that even if you don't know the others, if you've got this band that you belong to that can be made up, and it's like, okay, well, the first boring quest, there's a problem on John's farm, we need somebody to go check it out, well, send the new guys.
Right. Well, and that absolutely works, but I feel like the strength of letting the players come up and help come up with ties that bind them together is what happens next, because otherwise, as the DM, and I've done it over and over again, where you have to almost like keep coming up with this unlikely series of events that kind of like keeps them together until through play they can build the bond and the relationship.
Right.
Which, I mean, there's not really a problem with that. But, it is so much better when they can go, oh, you know what, me and Tom, we actually served in the guard together, and, and then like, Jack and Sally are like, well, we're siblings.
Well, I was just trying to offer an easy way out because I know
a different solution.
It wasn't for the DM to figure out. That was for the players
to come up with that,
who don't want to do the work, because you know as well as I that there are players out there that they don't want to come up with a complicated backstory. They like making characters, but once they're done, they'll figure out who their character is while they play.
Right.
Like, they don't want to know who they were previously. And therefore, listen, I got to come up with a backstory and how I'm linked to these, 3 to 5 other people. I don't want to do that.
Well, if you're going to do one or the other, I think the linkage is way more important for the game, to get it going and keeping it going.
I agree, but you're preaching to the choir here. I'm the person who I'll write a 2-page backstory for a one-shot character.
So you know what? So I have the Gobblos in my game.
Mm-hmm.
Are they brothers? I don't even know. Are they just friends or are they brothers?
I really don't know.
I just know they travel together and they're clowns together.
They've always been together, and
maybe life partners. I don't know.
Well, maybe that's a subject for a different video.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it's one of those things I haven't really asked. It still breaks my head when characters, play the opposite gender. I still want to look at Grundle as a girl.
Yeah. Well, because you're looking at the player, not the character. When you have the visual right in front of you for every session, that does have that effect, I think, as well. And she doesn't talk with a masculine voice when she's playing the goblin. Totally. That's probably what the problem is. If she would talk with a masculine voice, deepen your immersion, maybe that would help.
Maybe.
So,
any final points?
I think we should just recap and then take it out.
All right. So, short and to the point. Y'all work for the same mercenary group. You can
share an acquaintance.
You can have linked backstories. You can be at a specific location for an event or some happening.
Well, even the shared backstories, though, I think you kind of have to break that into you either apprentice together, you work together, you're friends, your family. Yeah, a little bit more specific.
Okay. Am I missing anything?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that pretty much covers it. So hopefully that helps you guys out. You can let us know in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
Or you can support us in a fiscal way by heading over to patreon.com. So until next time, stay nerdy.